a wonderful life. I mean, really. And, you know, this is a no. Anybody can do this. Everybody can. All have within us. We don't need a paper telling us we're good enough to understand the universe. You know, really, all you have to do is ask. And our job is really just shut up and listen, to let it happen and remove those barriers, you know, that have us believing that it's not possible. Because, you know, I'll tell you what, in my world, all things are possible.
Yes, that's right. Everything is. There are no limits, just beliefs. And your truth is better than any fiction. But, you know, that being said, if everything's a mirror, and this is all just a divine ploy for self-love and self-discovery, then actually, if you look at the story of the Greek god Narcissus, it's not about vanity at all.
Of course not.
It's about falling in love with yourself. All the many facets of yourself. So, see, when you start to understand this, all these stories that you look at, that you've heard so many times, you see it in a whole different light. You're like, whoa, wait a second. And this is like what I want to, you know, present more in my work with these stories. And I just really want to heal people's relationship with any beings that bring discord or the Illuminati or whatnot. I want to show people how they can completely usurp everything. I mean, really what's happening right now is they're so desperate. They are so afraid, more afraid of us than we are of them, but they can't let people know that, so they, you know, play on the opposite. It's like a bully, and if you microcosm the version of the Illuminati, just think of a bully in high school. And they're, you know, they're very, or even just another good metaphor for it is the Wizard of Oz. Big, impressive smoke and mirror show, but behind the curtain is an old, frail, insecure man.
Absolutely. And, you know, they are operating with their ego, so they're stuck in lower realms.
No, but it's not. It's something that needs to be brought forward.
They can't access the spirit. There is no spirit when you're operating in mode.
It's a cry for help, though. You know, they're basically really helping us. It's an alchemy occurrence right now. Like, if humanity is conditioned to believe they're nothing but a worthless piece of coal under extreme heat and pressure, which can be the Illuminati or anything that causes discord in our life, the heat and pressure, what happens to a piece of coal under extreme heat and pressure, Christy?
Well, you might end with a beautiful diamond.
That's right. You become a diamond, or even just plants. I mean, trees are, like I said, they're my greatest teachers. So in order to become a little seed buried in darkness and silence alone, in order for it to become this beautiful plant, it needs a lot of fertilizer dumped on it. Shit.
They love that manure.
But it's true. I mean, we have to see that they're really doing us a service of bringing all this out of us, bringing it to the surface. And this is really a planet of problem-solvology, where we experience as many problems as possible and experience disconnection with our divine source, first of all, so that we can be unconditionally loving and understand and find ourselves within each other. It's not about karma. It's not about being punished for what you've done in the past. It's just about oneness. It's about, you know, if you're a white person in a past life and you're cruel to a black person, and the next life you're a black person, it's not about being punished. It's just about recognizing, and just, you can't, it develops yourself, like an actor, for example. You're not a very good actor if you're playing the same role over and over again. The actors that are the best are the ones that are very diverse, and that's what we are doing as gods.
Mm-hmm. You know something, we're rolling into break now, but about acting, what makes them good is because they're not acting, they're living it. They are living the moment, and that's the difference. So we need to start living our lives on this big stage of confusion. Roll into break right now, but we will be right back once I get this interface to open. There, we can bring Russ. Russ, welcome. How you doing tonight?
Good evening, Christy. I'm doing well, thank you. You're sounding good as always, and another awesome guest. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Jessica.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. I'm having so much fun. And thank you for providing such great sound.
Well, Christy does all the work. I just get all the credit. Ha ha. No. They, no, I have so much that I'd like to talk about. We have such little time left. But a couple of quick yes and no questions, and then a question, and I'll cut it short. We are talking about an unseen world here, aren't we? One that is real.
Yes.
Okay. And there are really only two forces in this unseen world, are there not?
What forces are you referring to?
Well, in essence, the force of fear, the force of love, the power of light and the power of darkness.
But again, that's just a mirror. You know, I mean, they both exist within us. They're neither bad nor good, but they have both tendencies depending on which one we're going to feed and which one we need to address and bring to the surface in order to heal. Like not only when we heal ourselves, we also heal the planet, because this is a microcosm of a macrocosm. You know, like our body, billions of cells make up our one body, many in the one, just like the planet. You know, the planet is a biological living being, and the humans are the cells.
Well, then to carry on to the last yes or no question, and then a more question I'd like you to address in the last few minutes. But is there more than one source of love?
Is there more than one source of love? I really think we're becoming artists of love, and I think there are many, many sources of love in the one. It's like a many in the one, right?
Okay.
So it just depends on what perspective you're wanting to look at it.
Okay. What can you tell us about the symbiont self that exists in the unseen world?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Well, we're a symbiont creation. We have a spirit component and we have a flesh component. What can you tell us about the spirit component?
The spirit component is this is more our reality, our birthright. Sorry, my phone's dying. And the physical component is more of the illusion. So the spiritual component, it's layered. You know, like I said, there's multi-dimensions to it. There's not just your past lives, but there's your future. They're multi-dimensional, your interdimensional, your lives in between lives. And that's not all of them.
Okay.
But it does operate all through love, understanding, and self-growth.
Always on self-growth. On this duality, there is the duality of the spirit and the flesh, and I agree. Shouldn't we be working to make them one? And that opens up a whole new vista of possibilities, doesn't it? That's
right, because a lot of people think that ascension is about leaving their physical body and that the physical body is flawed, and it's just like saying, you know, your flesh is hell, like it's just shackles to your spirit, and that's not the case. Spirit keeps coming back into the physical body because it's trying to figure out, like when it astral travels at night, it's trying to figure out a way to bring body with it, and that is, it's not about leaving it behind. Like the body needs spirit, and spirit needs body. This is an incredible, incredible experience. It's a marriage of heaven and earth. And I wrote a poem about this called A Love Story, and it's when the spirit can figure out how to bring the body with it, then we are able to biolocate and teleport and all that again.
Well, in order for that to happen, we'd have to continue to gain understanding of this concept that we're all energy and all frequency, right?
Correct. And, you know, there's a metaphor that I use where very simple things teach me very profound things, like a fan, in a fan that keeps you cool. If the fan is turned off, you can still see the blades. That's the third dimension, and that's with very little activity of the chakras, because even the fan is still spinning, but very, very, very slowly, and that's why we're in our physical. And then if you turn the fan on to level 2, you can still see the blades, but it's rather transparent. That's the fourth dimension and realm of spirit, ghosts, things like that. And if you turn the fan on to the highest level, you can't see the blades anymore. It does not mean they're not there. And that's the fifth dimension, and that's where we're heading to. And when you vibrate and move that fast, particularly within your chakras, then you are able to bilocate and teleport.
I'm having more fun manipulating whatever I find in front of me, but absolutely, good stuff.
Yeah, and very good explanation, too.